Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Parampara Shri Jagan Mataram Devim Stitadhi Padmakasanam Hridaya Sagaratitam Gomatim Pranatosmyaham Om. Thank you very much for coming again. And for those, this is the first time, I'm very happy to be here. And it's an honor for me to sit with Swamini and share a little bit of what I have learned. On the last session, we spoke about the heart of a seeker and what makes the difference for us to understand Vedanta. So today we are going to talk about the heart of the seeker, not in the perspective of what makes Vedanta works, but what is supposed to happen in our hearts during the study. So let's talk a little bit about emotions, about relations, and about the understanding of what we are. Because I think that being from a Western country, this subject of emotion and relations is very relevant for my students, and I think it's something that we can contribute also. The fact that here in India we have a very strong heritage and also a way of living gives us, let's say, a very good protection. We protect ourselves from the adharmic world and adharmic actions, basically just for being here. People are naturally nice. And this is something that we in the West get shocked. If you just walk on the streets, and you just tell a vendor, "How are you?" He says, "Thank you, sir, I'm very nice." This for us is something from an outer world. And if I tell you how it's in my home, you get also shocked. So I will do. I was once changing to a new apartment block, searching for a new home. And suddenly I went to a very fancy, beautiful place, and there were some mummies cooking on a, how do we call this? In the common area of the building there is some barbecue. Like a barbecue stuff, like an opening thing on the middle, and they were there cooking and talking, and there was a guy there that's like a security guy from the. Then I said, okay, this is the guy that I should talk to, because security guys knows everything. So I just came close to him and say, "Hey man, how are you?" I don't talk to you. You are not from the same level of society, understanding, color, anything that I am. You just ignore me. And I was going to be a potential, that's completely crazy, And if you go in certain parts of Brazil, certain regions, just because you are different, you are targeted to be robbed. You are targeted to be cheated. So what happens when we live in this type of society is that all the time you are in danger. You feel like that. When you talk to anybody, this person can attack you. This person can cheat on you, So it's not an easy life. It's like what they would call the Far West. Yeah? You know this term, Far West? No? When the United States was being colonized, there was the city on the east and the Far West. They were far from the city for the west, and on the Far West there was no law. Law was the gun, whatever they do. So here we have the same situation. We have the East with big heritage and values and life of giving, and if people can really run things here upon donation, upon kindness, And you have the far west, where I live, where people really don't think about the other or anything of that, and you will be shocked if you see that a Vedanta priest, a Vedanta teacher, a priest, a doctor, and everybody maybe have to carry a gun because you can be killed. Like before coming here, 1 month, my father was put a gun twice on his head just because he has a car. Do you understand what is this? It's a completely mess in the society. It's like bringing up the idea that you have to take care of yourself. And when you live in a society like that, of course, it's a big problem, it's a big burden, and you always have the feeling that you are guilty for something. Because that's the way we control each other, you know? You make people feel guilt. You make people feel not good enough. While here, we are striving to survive and to be recognized as a nice person. You know, there, the dispute for recognition and survival is completely different. The mindset is that I have to attack the other people. You know. So, what can we learn from this? You know, first, there is a certain level of protection that a heritage gives. And that is very nice and very good to build us up. But the fact is that ignorance is part of the heart of every person. Ignorance will always be there. It's because of ignorance that we get ambitious, that we get not ambitious, how we say, greedy. Yeah? We get greedy, that we get violent, that we get agitated, and all those things that generates a lot of suffering, you know. And when we talk about limits, if I am very protected, I have the strange sensation that I don't have to take care of my own limits, because my mother will be there to take care of me. And this is something so wrong, you know. It's very good that we can be like grown up, protected by a system, by our parents, by our friends. But there is a time in life where we have to become our own parent. We have to become our own father, our own mother. We should not expect other people around us to take care of us as if we did not have the responsibility for our own selves, you know. So, for example, my father, mother, from young age, they would have to take care of themselves. So the problem there is for you to open up, you know, because everybody is self-made somehow. And if you turn upon this side, it will be the opposite, because everything is taken care. So what is the value of having my own strength? Why? Why should I be enough if my family can take care of me? Then there is, a trap on this line of thinking, you know, because the fact is that being ignorant, maybe grossly speaking, I can be, let's say, a nice person. Grossly. Like I can come here and say, hello, how are you? Are you everybody fine? And then everybody say, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. So you will be fine, I will be fine. But actually, this, in a subtle way, we are not really connecting. We are not really connecting to each other. Have you heard the term inner child? Have you heard this? So each one of us, probably Swamini already spoke in some lectures, that inside our mind we carry like our own child, our own selves. When we were young, this part of the mind keeps like freezed in time, and it's always with us. But not only the inner child, we also carry the inner mother, the inner father. And all these characters inside of us has to grow. And they will not grow under the gross relations, you know, the superficial relations that we can have. They only grow under subtle relations, subtle situations. Subtle, can you understand? So it's when I decide to open up. So there is a decision that everybody needs to make sometime, that is to open up. Open up to your own self, open up to the people around you. And of course, we're not going to open up to someone that we don't trust. We're not going to go to your job and then start telling a lot of things about her. That's not the purpose. But imagine if in your own family or with your own closest friends or relatives, you are not able to be truthful and say whatever you are feeling and thinking. Then I tell you, you have a big problem. Do you know why? Because it has nothing to do with the other person. It's something that is happening inside you. There is a part of you that is being condemned by another part of yourself. So what we do actually, we feel ashamed of something that we carry, something that we have done, some desire that we will have. We feel that the other person is not going to understand us. He will feel hurt, and I feel responsible for the hurt of the other. What is something completely crazy? If you really think about, each one did not choose how they are going to be. I am just the way I am. You are also the way you are. Why something inside of me would hurt you? If I have not chosen anything, I am a victim. The same as you are and everybody is. So why can't I just tell what is happening inside me? Why? Is it because I don't want to lose the protection that people give me? Like the love, the affection. So I want to fulfill their expectations of how should I be? Or is it because I have to survive? And if I'm not strong enough, if I show people that I'm vulnerable, then they will know how to hurt me. So understand, in India, the first problem. In Brazil, the second problem. We have to be very strong. If I have to be strong, I should not cry. I should not tell what I'm feeling. I should not have needs. And actually, if somebody asks about how is my life, I will tell them a list of sacrifices, thinking that I'm very excellent. I sacrifice myself to my daughter, sacrifice myself to my job. My whole life I dedicated to Vedas or whatever. And that's it. That has been my whole life. There is not a person there. It's just a boosting of the ego, So there is no connection. And where the person lies? The person lies on the subtle relations that are happening inside of you. I don't know who your inner mother is. How is your inner father? How controlling or how permissive he is? I don't know how do you like you, how you don't like yourself. These are the topics that when I exchange with another person, I let them come in. I let them help me to understand who am I in terms of this relative experience. And the other person being non-different in the sense he also has an inner child, an inner mother, inner father, and a whole other bunch of stuff, When I share with them whatever I have, they also feel open to share what they have. And if you really see why people discuss between each other, the excuse, it's very clear. You're not washing the dishes or whatever, you are waking up early, you are this, you are that, you snore, whatever. But what we really feel inside, it's sometimes lack of respect. The person does not respect me. Or lack of love. Or we feel very tired and we are not able to express the tiredness that we have. It's always a subtle problem. It's never a gross problem. Because gross problems, we can solve it. We can just change the strategy of living and solve. But if you don't feel loved by your other one, you cannot solve it grossly. You cannot tell, I'm not feeling loved by you because you're not washing the dishes. Oh, come on. The other person will say, washing the dish, come on. You feel loved because, no, you should tell I love you. I already told her, I love you forever, okay? So just don't ask anymore. It does not work like that. How do people feel loved? They feel loved when they are able to connect in a deeper level. So this openness, it's what is called in our tradition, in a different way of seeing, okay, but open your mind, as vairagya. This detachment. Vairagya, objective. Vairagya, viraga. And how vairagya is supposed to be some detachment from an external object? Yes. Your inner child, your inner mother, they are all external objects. You think they are you, but they are not. So maybe it's easy to be detached or objective in relation to your car, you know. But in relation to your own desires, are you able to accept what Ishvara gave you? And how crazy they are? I am able to accept my own emotions. I am able to accept the craziness, you know, of my inner child. Or I am trying to control it also. And tell people that I'm perfect. Because, you know, my child is very disciplined. I do whatever I try to do in my life, I achieve. People have this type of speech, you know. Achieve, I do. When I was young, I memorized the Gita. Then I met my uncle. He gave me a mantra. Then for my whole life I did the mantra. And the mantra gave me the prasada of Mr. Ganesha. And now everything that I do in life, I'm blessed. Right? So go to heaven straight and stop talking to me. I don't want to talk to a person like this. This is so stupid. It's not real. It's not real. Why don't I open up and give the other person my humanity, my mistakes, my sorrow, my regrets, my desires? So many interesting things I have inside of me, you know. This is a very deep vairagyam. I don't have vairagyam of external objects only. I have to have vairagyam from this person that I would like to be. And unfortunately, in the beginning, I'm not. And after you study a little, you will say just the opposite. Fortunately, I'm not. Because if I was really this person that I imagine I should be, this person is always a source of pain. And you know why? Because when we create in our imagination, you know, how we should be, we always fantasize something that will fulfill our needs. So, it's like this. If you ask a person, how you want to live, you know, and this person is like a prisoner without food, he would say, I want to live, any desire, just ask. You have, how I say, kamaduk, no? You can desire anything. The wishing, fulfilling cow will give you. Okay, I want to be every time with food. You know? I want to be and every time I want to eat, I can eat. And I can go anywhere. And what type of job? Talking to different people, because I am here in the prison, I cannot see anybody. Mm-hmm. So, what else? I don't have different clothes with different colors. You know, not only this gray color. Okay, you end up in McDonald's. You can work forever with food. You can eat nuggets the whole day. You can talk to people. This is the desire that comes from a person that actually is suffering. And of course, the result of the desire is a suffering fantasy. Think about it. Some people even ask, teacher, there is something that I cannot understand. If a sadhu, he never says like this, if the teacher, no. He puts somebody in the Himalayas. If a jnani get the knowledge, real knowledge, established knowledge, what he would do? What he would do? He would die, isn't it? Because the person does not see life beyond pain, you know. So once pain is over, life is over. Why would a person work if he does not need money? Why would a person hug another if it is not needy? Why a person would drink water if it's not thirst, isn't it? This is the line of thinking. This is just completely wrong, you know. When we are full in ourselves, we are very active. We are not inactive. Because we are very, let's say, tiredly working on pain, we imagine that knowledge will just free us from our relations, from our job, from everything. And actually, we start to desire knowledge because of that. But it's just not true. Have you seen, you know probably, because it's very recent, the life of Puja Swamiji? He wasn't doing so many things, man. If a jnani does not do anything, Puja Swamiji would not be a jnani. It's completely crazy. Until his last moments of life, he was giving classes. And he was answering to people. And people would come to him. He was having dialysis, a lot of different trouble, pain in the body. Imagine headaches or other things that he should have. And people would go there and talk to him, in the last month of his life, open his door and say, Swamiji, may I talk to you? How are you? I say, fine. What is he going to tell? How are you? I'm fine. The body is weak. The mind is weak. Everything is in pain. I am fine. Actually, what do you need? My grandmother is fighting with my daughter. What should I do? He will contribute. Out of what? Out of pain? No. Out of joy. There is another place inside of us. Once we open up to the external world, what happens is that we find another place inside. It's like a sharanam, but it's not a physical sharanam, It's a place inside of you that you need to get into. Swami Chinmayananda, he would say this in so many different lectures that I've heard, and so beautifully. He said something like this: be bold. You should be bold. He has this strong form. Refuse to be unhappy. Just refuse the unhappy person inside of you. Like, become, be free. But when you decide to be free, understand that you have to be free from your own self also. From your own sharira, from your own mind, from your own concepts. Is it possible to just wake up in the morning and say, no plans, let's see what's going to happen? What I want to do now? So the mind, because of this strategy to become happy and to create a perfect person, he will never let us be in ease. All the time, the mind will stick to this concept of perfection, to this behavior of the inner child, inner mother, inner father, and externalize that. But there are some things in this Jagat that is able to break these categories of the mind, all these things. One of those is music. Music is something that goes very deep in the heart. So deep that it's like a mantra. Now, if you connect to it, suddenly you forget the person that you would like to be. Suddenly your inner father shuts up. Your inner mother shuts up. The inner child gets entertained. All these different things that happen inside is just like neutralized. It's not that you really open up. You did not open up. But you had some sort of vacation from your own self. And then you connect to a different energy. And you can see this very clear on these bhajans. You have these kirtan groups, very big ones. Have you been? No? Not satsang. Like this does not work. Ganesha Sharanam, Sharanam. It does not work. You just imagine, you go to the place. And there the Pandit will come like, Om Namah Parvati Padaye. Then everybody, don't know why, they got that day some strange energy. And they all shout, Hara Hara Mahadeva. Then everybody starts to get into a mood. Because it's a mood that happens. Like if you go to a big temple, like Kedarnath, some Kali temple also, they start to get in this mood, going to the Murti. Have you experienced that? He'll say, Hanuman ki, Jai, 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 Jai. Then everybody starts to throw out from their own process of thinking one line of thinking and enter in another type of thinking. They are not anymore the body or the mind. They are just stick to one idea. In this case, Ishvara. And the vision of Ishvara in their own mind prevents all these characters to cause pain. Because if I have an inner child, Ishvara gave me. If I have an inner mother, Ishvara gave me. And actually, my inner child is a problem of Ishvara, not mine. What can I do? Even when I make a mistake, it was not my fault. Did I choose to do the mistake? No. I will have to pay for the mistake because it went through my body and mind what to do. But whose fault is this? Who created ignorance? It was not me and it was not you. Ishvara's fault. So Ishvara, when I was in the ashram, I had a very serious discussion. Because there was a time, remember that, because there was a time that my mind got so disturbed that I was not able to study. And then I said, no, this is not right. I spoke to Ishvara. I said, look, you put me here. I did the sadhanas because I may not have done, I did my part of the sadhanas, I did everything. I'm not able to study. You solve it. I don't want to hear any word of you anymore before you solve this problem, because imagine what will happen. When I will go back, do you know what I'm going to say? Vedanta does not work. Ishvara's Vedanta does not work. Not Ishvara's Vedanta. Because I did my part. Shiva did not bless me properly. I will assume this. I'm not going to assume this. I have an inner child that has a lot of needs. I'm in this place where I cannot fulfill these needs. And you are supposed to give me some Vedanta lessons and make me grow. And I'm doing my best, I'm not going. Why are you doing that? And suddenly I got a friend who I could talk about my own needs more deeply. And I have such sanghas where I could sing. And then I start to understand that the problem is not really, something external that happened. It's an opening up. Once you open up, there is no problem at all. The fact that my mind is like that, the fact that I have this habit or I have made this mistake, is just part of our history. We are really sitting on a movie theater, watching in the first seat because it seems that you are here, in the first seat, watching the movie of your own life, where you are the primary character. We are all secondary. You are the primary character. And you have only one goal that you are expecting this story to do. In some moment of time, find peace into yourself. Not as something external. Just at some moment of time, you can just say, the movie is over. Everything that has to happen, had happened. And what prevents yourself to connect? It's just your own inner world. So, the first thing that we should know from this perspective of your understanding is that this inner world has to be exposed. Exposed to your own self, exposed to the other people around you. And, of course, to people that you trust. But don't be so picky, because there is no perfect friend, no perfect teacher. They're just people doing their best. So you try, you see how much you earn of that, and slowly this will increase in your life. And then there is the second point, 3 points also, like the other side. The second point is, if I am to live freely, what type of heart should I have? How would be my core energy of working? Because it's very nice and very beautiful to want the knowledge, seek the knowledge, to be happy in life. At the same time, I want knowledge so that I have moksha and all this, And sometimes even we create some sub objectives, like I'll get the knowledge and become a teacher. I'll get the knowledge and teach my husband. Because we have this thing. I have the knowledge. And we create all this, And we do the sadhanas. having in mind an objective, a sankalpa. I'm doing this japa. I want to get back to my mother, to reconnect, to be able to love more myself. And actually, we are supposed to do the sadhanas like that. But it's a beginning, you know. There is a time where life should not have an objective to fulfill you anymore. There is a moment that this should happen. But it will not happen, you know, at once. And this is something that if you understand, you got it. Why? Because our mind has different compartment structures. And each activity that we do in life is not something, you know, very elaborate. Just think about how short one day is. Come on. Our whole life is made of days. So just take one day and think about to whom do you talk in one day? What activities do you do in one day? I'll help. You wake up in the morning with yourself. We'll talk to your family, send the boys to school, kiss the husband, have breakfast together. Then you are free. Maybe you're going to a job, maybe you're going to stay at home, do some sadhana, do some things. Then you do for 1 hour maximum, because this is the one muhurta time, you know. The time of meditation is the time of concentration. No other activity. There is no activity that you can do for more than 1 hour effectively. After 1 hour, you have to take a break. And then start again. If you don't take a break, you start to lose efficiency. Okay? But, okay. So you have 3 meditations you can do. It could be work, meditate, work, meditate, work, gym. You choose 3 hours. Lunch. After lunch, you should rest a little bit. Talk some, gossip this for 20 minutes. You go back, more 3 meditation sessions. You can choose. Study, meditate, work, meditate, work, pick up the children in the school and do something else. You go back home, have dinner, then you probably talk to some elderly that live with you. For how long does it take, this relation? How long? 15 minutes? You're going to sit, ask how it was the day of the other person. Just think about that. When you talk to your parents, it's 15 minutes of your day. Just 15 minutes. If you are living together, maybe to stand to half an hour, 15 in the morning, 15 in the evening, 1 call, 5 minutes during the day. So in this history, this movie that you are watching, parents means 30 minutes. That's it, 30 minutes. After that, what do you do? Well, maybe you study a little bit, something that is important for you, and sleep heavily. Over. Now analyze that. Look to the framework of a day. How the time is so precious, so tiny. It's a story where staying with my mother is just 15 minutes. Staying with myself is 10 minutes in the morning, maybe 20 minutes in the evening, alone with a book. A lot of time in the traffic also. Then at work, I have 2 or 3 hours. You know, in the beginning when we start to work, we think that work is a big, long time, that we can just go and we stay the whole day working. The whole day is very short. If you don't be objective, you don't produce. And then you have to work at night. So when a person gets job maturity, what he does? He does not speak. He gets very objective. A doctor, for example, now he has to go to the surgery. He enters there. He does not even have the job to pick up the knife, you know. Somebody will put knife. Because this is objective. You should be objective. So whatever you do, you are objective because you want to take the most of it. In terms of job, you understand very well. But sometimes, in terms of talking to a mother, no. We lose it. We think that we have all the time in the world, but it's not true. One nice day, they're not here anymore. And your connection with them are made from 15 to 15 minutes. Gaps of 15 minutes. How is with the children? The same thing. After they start going to school, half an hour from half an hour. If you are going to be connected to your child when they are old, means that you made the best of your half an hour. Just that. How are you going to meditate? Making the best of your 15 minutes. How are you going to study Vedanta? Making your best of your 1 hour per week. It's not much. 1 hour per week. I have to make my best. So suddenly, the mind starts to see this movie that is playing in another way. It's not really something that stays forever and has an objective, big objective in the end. It's something that has to be meaningful now. Each of these small gaps of time has to be very meaningful. So even if I'm going to stay with myself in an airport waiting for the airplane, I can do it in a meaningful way. Or I can do it in a stupid way, complaining about the airplane, and in the end, getting more tired. How do I want to live? How do I want to work? Why? Where my mind will be while I am inside of all these activities? So we will say like this. The reason why I do the activity is the first thing that dictates my attitude. And I should understand that this reason, even for knowledge, even for japa, for all the spiritual activities, should not be the last objective. The objective is a direction. I want moksha. Done. So we are going on that direction. But now I am walking on your side. When I'm talking to you, what is my objective? Moksha. No, it's not. It's not. When I'm talking to you, my objective is to connect myself to you. That should be, because it's what I'm doing right now. And when I'm studying singing, study singing is correct? Studying how to sing. How should I practice? I need to get this Hare Rama correct. Boshambo. No Boshambo? No. I need to get this Boshambo correct. I never Boshambo, Shiva Shambho, Shayambo. No. Boshambo. This will not work. Or you get really in love of what you are doing. You're never able to do a sadhana correctly. If you do Om Namah Shivaya, counting how many Om Namah Shivaya is passing so that it ends, you're not going to get where you have to go, When you talk to your mother, if you have only 15 minutes, you think, I have to be objective, there's only 15 minutes, let's go. Does not go like this. You have really to put yourself into it. You have to find the meaning inside the activity. So it's not anymore building like a very objective sankalpa in the end. There is a time where this sankalpa has to grow. And it will grow as a presence, as a state of conscious on the present moment, where you just are. So just think about this. If you are a teacher, like Swamini, and you come to talk to her, maybe each one will have 5 minutes. Because there are lots. And the teacher cannot just think, I have 5 minutes with each one. Speak fast, I will respond. It does not work. If I want to be totally there for you and do the best of my 5 minutes, I have just to love you. And just give you my whole attention for the time that I have. It does not matter. So my mind has to be in the present moment, as if there were no other moment in the life. So it's like this. My constant exercise is a connection between Brahmaji and Mr. Yama. Have you seen the movie where they tell the story of Shri Shankar? He's a boy and all this. And have you seen this movie? Shri Shankar, there is a movie. Okay, sorry, my friend. Sri Shankaracharya. Have you seen this movie? And it says that from young age, there is a boy that appears for him that is Mr. Yama. Have you seen that? Yes. Very meaningful, If Yama travels with you, you're free. You're free. If you just think this is my last moment, after this, maybe I'm not here. Oh, this will be a wonderful speech. And actually the best thing I have to hear in my whole life, after that, I can just go. Why not? If I'm going to talk to my father, and I just think maybe it's the last time I'm going to talk to him, let's just do my best and be there. I'm free. And what's making me free has nothing to do with knowledge itself. It's an attitude. And this attitude has to be conquered. That's why one of the main activities of Vedanta student is seva. Seva is not done because the teacher needs help. Actually, the teacher do whatever he has to do better without help. That's true, all the teachers, including Puja Swamiji. Okay? So whenever students come, they in general disturb. But it's a practice that also sometimes make the knowledge reach out to a lot of people, indirectly, But don't think that teachers say, oh, my sevakas are coming, I'm very happy because they don't. No, it's always like the sevakas are coming. This lady is late. This other guy did not bring what he was supposed to bring. Now I am in trouble because I have to trust on them. And then you have to talk to them. Oh, I have a boy here that is working with me that he has a problem like this. Actually, the seva is like, an excuse of Ishvara to help the teacher teach you how to live, how to do an activity. And it has to be a stupid activity. Understand that. If it's something like sending a rocket to Mars, he's not going to ask for a sevaka. He's going to hire NASA. Okay? So it's something like this. Cook this modaka. And the modaka comes like this, because the person has no patience. Okay, now you can teach something, go cook again. Do it again. One of the best teachings that I received, that I try to repeat to my students from my teachers, was one day I was doing a seva, and I messed it up. Because it's always like this, sometimes we mess up. I messed up. Because I was not having the proper attention I would like from my teacher, I was a little bit unsatisfied, so I just messed up and everything. And then I said, teacher, I'm sorry. I messed up and did like this. Oh, I was counting on this that you were doing. What should I do now? Oh, I don't know. Okay, don't worry, I will manage. Then on the next day, I came back. It was every day I was there. And then I said, look, what should I do? Do you still want me to do the seva? He said, of course. The seva is supposed for you to do and make this type of mistake. And I'm sure if you repeat like 50 times, 100 times, you are going to be able to do it without mistakes. I have this hope. So because you are failing, you should do more seva, not less seva. Understand? The mind is, in our mind, we are doing the seva to help the teacher. In the mind of the teacher, you are doing the seva to make the mistake and grow. Look how beautiful. And then when the teacher says, don't worry, Vishvanatha, if you don't get correct this time, you just repeat 50 times. I say, oh, this second time will be very correct. Because there is no game anymore in play. It's just a matter of being happy. Then once, when I arrived in Brazil, this was very funny. Did I tell you? That there was a sevaka that knew me from before and say, can I help you? I said, yeah, sure. Then I said, I'm going to give a lecture, you please come with me. And I have a lot of books to sell. It was also my primary finance income, I have the books, so I need the books so that I can have money for my life. So I bring the books, so you just be with the books and help people sell the books for me, because it's also good that somebody else does this, not the teacher. I can be there with the student. She got very angry. There was not a more noble activity for you to give to me. I said, what do you want? You want to give the lecture? I can sell the books. There is no problem. I'm not asking you, like inviting you as the chief minister, because you are a prominent doctor, so you can come and do seva in, Bombay hospital. No, it's just sell the books, that's what. But the mind, whenever it does things, takes you to another place. So our second point under this heart of the student, is being able to bring the mind from this odd space to a place where you are conscious of what you are doing. And where this where this awareness of what you are doing, make the activity that you are doing meaningful. It's just meaningful. If I really love the other person, maybe I have to talk to a street child that comes to me and asks for a help. And if I really put myself there and connect to him, it will be just the best thing I can do for myself in my life. It suddenly changes everything. If I have to take care of a person that is sick, but I'm there with him, this will be a blessing for me. So suddenly, whatever I do in my life starts to become a blessing for me and not a burden. What did change? The place I am inside of myself. So the first thing we saw was, remember? There is question. There are questions. Remember? Medha Devi Shamanana Aga. No? We spoke about? The inner world, exactly. And the necessity that we have to open up. And the human relation becomes meaningful when we are able to connect to the other person's inner world. And we have to have vairagya from all these inner parts that we try to close. And the second point, is we have to bring our mind to the present moment and make whatever we are doing meaningful. And the third is the most difficult and actually the most fulfilling aspect of it. So yesterday we spoke about, let's say, the yang aspects. Now we are talking about the yin aspect, the subtle aspects. To become a good student, to be there in the class, to have Sharada, this was yesterday. Today we are speaking about the inner heart, what should be there inside. So the last challenge, it's a very beautiful and at the same time is something that even the rishis, when they talk about this inner heart, the heart of a student, this inner aspect, they always highlight that. So what is it? You need to understand a formula. How does love takes place? But because it does not have a formula like mathematical formula, the only thing that the rishis gives to us, it's a formula in a poetry-like formula. Because the poetry has the capacity to take our mind to certain places, that logic cannot so fast. Logic can also take us there, but not so fast. Maybe you can explain to your mother everything that you feel. Explain, really. I'm feeling abandoned because of this. When I was young, this happened, this and that. And everything that you are doing when you explain is really trying to connect to her. But the connection between both that will bloom in terms of love, is not a product of the logic. It may happen because you start talking, but it's not a product of that. And this is such a fact that sometimes we come to talk to a Swami, like Swamini, and you probably come with a lot of things in your heart, maybe even some bad things that you are having that you want to share and say, you are doing this to me, this and that. But when you look to the person, your heart just melts, isn't it? Sometimes I went to talk to Puja Swamiji with like a disturbed mind, but just the fact that I was there with him, I did not have anything to say anymore. Gloria also, I had a teacher in Brazil, Gloria. I always was like this. I was like mad with her about something because I was interacting, so I am projecting my problems. But when I came to her, before saying anything, she would just relax, namaste, smile. And with that smile, with that relaxation, I was not anymore in a position of competing or not feeling loved or not feeling respected. So there is an inner formula for love. And this has to be like, open up. I have to understand that. What makes this love happen? And sometimes we think that is when we tell good things. When we say things that will please the other person. You are very nice, you are very happy, you are very this. But it's not true. Actually, I find that sometimes when I did, for example, my Ninda to Shiva, I explained to you, don't be afraid, it's okay. He's my friend. And I told him everything that I have to tell. I just relaxed. Somehow, I think I was holding up, the story that I just told, holding up to myself all the defects that I had. Suddenly I exposed my defects to Ishvara, to everybody, and I just don't want that anymore. And I saw no hatred in my heart anymore. That hatred that was inside, it could be, tapped through the Ninda, not only through beautiful words. Sometimes Ninda helps. So, if we come from a traditional heritage like this, it will be maybe strange to hear like this, because in general we want to be embraced, But if you go to the West, sometimes it's just the opposite. Have you seen on the American movies? I don't live in America, but in American movies they have like this. These two guys come and say, "You're smelling like shit," and the other say, "My day is over. I just saw you." And then they hug each other. Have you seen this? This always time happen in the movies, no? Why? Because somehow in their minds, even a bad word became a sign that you are connected to the other person, that you respect, that you love. Although this seems very awkward, how rishis did not do differently. Have you heard the Tamilian rishis chanting Pita Pireshuri Perumane Arula Pita? You know this song? He called Ishvara, "You're madman." Pita means madman, crazy. You're just crazy. How did you do this jagat like this? People are suffering. This is completely wrong. And actually, when you start to put these things out, something happens in your heart. Because it's just so true. Whatever you feel is just so true that if you don't hold it back, you let it come out. It does not matter if it's right or wrong, in the sense if it's going to be well held or not well held. If you do what is in your heart, you get immediate fulfillment. Immediate. It does not take time. Just because of the fact that you do what you were supposed to do. In terms of your emotions, in terms of what you should say, in terms of your attitude. We call this sometimes as dharma. But as vairagya was not in its usual meaning, dharma here is not in the usual meaning. Because dharma in the usual meaning would mean to do something that is right, that is not going to hurt anybody, it's ahimsa, satyam and everything, But if you look at it more deeply, all human beings, being not perfect, and having a lot of prejudice, and a lot of wrong ideas in the mind, if we really want to be human, we have to make mistakes. We have to accept that. We have to make mistakes. And if I have to make mistakes, the mistakes should give us what? Learning plus pleasure. Pleasure. And that's why, if you give to a child a castle of cards, it will just do like this, and destroy everything. And it will find a pleasure inside itself, isn't it? We all have. There is a pleasure in building up, and there is a pleasure in destroying also. There is a pleasure in embracing, and there is a pleasure in pushing. Of course, if you push too much, the pleasure goes away, and you start to hurt the other people. If you embrace too much, you suffocate. Actually, do you know this Yoga Sutra? Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Nirodha means what? It's a good question. Because Nirodha could mean to embrace, to take care of, to control in a good sense. No? But Nirodha could also mean to control in a bad sense, to suffocate, to esclavizate, to make a slave, to bind. All this is Nirodha also. We don't want Chitta Vritti Nirodha to put ourselves, our thoughts in prisons inside the mind. No. So there is a point of equilibrium of our mind. The Chinese, they speak about the yin-yang, the equilibrium, balance. The yin-yang balance, Love, it's a yin-yang balance. How do you express love to your child? You need to find the yin-yang balance. If you accommodate too much, you suffocate. If you push too much, you hurt. There is a balance. There is sometimes that you have to embrace, sometimes that you have to leave aside. So, in every relation, when you focus on the balance of these two forces, you create a situation inside of yourself where you are free from your own actions, from your own mistakes, of course, and from the apparent pleasure of success. But at the same time, you lose the suffering that you get when you make a mistake. You lose also the anxiety of a champion, because a champion is not a person that is happy. A champion is a person that lives in fear. After you are the champion of the world, in boxing, every year you have to maintain your title. So after you get the belt, what you have to do? Practice more. Because the best fighter in the world will give you only one, match. And in this match, he has to win you. And if he wins you, he gains the belt. So now you have much more to lose than you have before. The pressure to become a champion is less than the pressure to maintain the belt. So success is not really a measure of happiness. Success gives us a lot of anxiety also, a lot of fear also. So once you drop that, there is no more success or failure. There is no more really what my mother will speak of me. It's just what I have to tell her in this moment. How should I behave in this moment? What is the truth between the energy that we are living? Sometimes I'm living with her and she's giving me so much pushing, and I'm so much, letting her do whatever she wants. There is an imbalance. And I have to push a little bit. I push a little bit, I have fear what will happen. But it's okay. After some time I discover that people that push a lot like to be pushed also. And they feel the same, they feel loved. And for you not to think that I'm lying, my mother is like that. And Swamini is also eyewitness. She went to the 3-year course to visit me, This is a recording, but it's in English, she's not going to listen, so okay. She went to the trio course. And then we went to talk about life, about this, about that. But imagine, I was in the trio course. There was like a, how do you say, a mixer, no? Zzz, a mixer of emotions, of subconscious and all this. And then I decided that I have to clean my relation with her. And of course, if she's pushy, I'll push back. So I told a lot of things that I would never have told her before. My God. What happened? On the first day, she just screamed, I want to get away from the ashram, I don't want to sleep. And my God, Then I went to Swami Sakshat. They said, she's telling like this, what should I do? Are you being truthful? I said, yes, I'm telling all the truth. Naked truth. No. So just tell her she can go whenever she wants. That you spoke to me, she's free. Then I told this to her. Look, I spoke to Swamiji, you can leave wherever he wants. Then she stopped screaming. Slept. Next day she tried to talk to me again and tried to see if she could push me and put myself in a miserable situation as I used to be. Not as a person, as somebody controlled by another person, you know. And I said, no, you cannot. Look, also because you are wrong here, you are wrong here, wrong this, and also these things in life that you did, I also don't agree. But it's okay, I respect you, whatever your decision, maybe it's right, but I don't agree. My God, 1 year without speaking to me. 1 year. This is completely abusive. This is, how I say, how a child can speak like this to a mother. But you know something? Once I understood what I was feeling, once I saw I was being truthful, nothing could shake me. Because I was not telling her something that trying to manipulate her. I was not wanting to cause pain to her. Actually, I did not have a mother before. I just have a person who I fight every day, every call. I have nothing to lose. And I was being myself. And if she does not want to connect to me with who I really are, how I really think, there is nothing that we can do together as two people, two free person. 1 year passed. She just talked to me the basics, you know. Hi, Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday. But next year, she came to continue the talk with a different attitude. And she said, maybe I was wrong here, maybe I was wrong there. And also she started to tell a lot of things that I was wrong. It was my turn. And then I received all that. I processed it. I saw how much suffering I did cause to her also during her life. And there is no other way I could reconnect to her if it was not hearing her pain. Because really, with the moment that we cause pain to another person, and is even worse if you don't know you are causing, the only thing that can heal you and heal the other person is to be able to hear the pain that you are causing. And then I heard everything, and I remember I spoke to her in the phone like this, you know. You want to know this story? Yeah, sure. Because it's very nice, that's why I think it's educative. Then I understood that I never saw what she was feeling. I was a child, very centered in myself. I never understood that my mother was a person also and had their own feelings. And I saw that I hurt a lot of her in the past, and I have no clue what she feels and what she is, because we never talked about that. So we came again in the phone. And then she asked me, are you coming to Christmas? I said, there is only one possible solution for this equation, pain. Because if I say I'm not coming, she will cry. If I say I'm going, I don't even know if I'm going. If I say I'm going for 1 day, she will want 5 days. You know, this type of mother. So I said, I just told her, I said, Mother, I don't know how to answer this question because I really want you to be happy, but I don't see any possibility that I'm able to tell you something that you'll be happy. So just understand, put in your mind that you have a stubborn, dumb, stupid child. That's me. So I will just tell you what I have to say right now. I'm giving a lot of classes. I don't know when and if I will have even the money to visit you because she lives in another city, I want to visit you, and I don't know if I'm going to be willing to visit you also. Very true. Maybe I need vacation alone, So this is my situation. My God, she did not, exploded. Oh, it will be very good for me if you come for Christmas. She changed it. That's what she should have said the first time, We do not need, she did not need to ask me when I'm going. She wants me to go there. She just tell, it would be very good for me to meet you in Christmas. That's what she should say. But she also did not know how to express herself. And then I said, Mother, this is exactly what I need to hear to be willing to visit you. So let's wait and see how it will be by the end of the year. Very meaningful. And completely opposite personalities. After some time, me and her, we start to get more connected and also more intelligent about how each other operates. And now, if she pushes me, I just push her back and she's happy. I'm not afraid also because I see that she likes that. How many days I'm going to be there? If you ask me one more time, I'm just going to give you a call. But because I'm a very good child, I will try. Then she laughs there. And this is her way. Then after some time, I went to talk to my grandmother. And I discovered she's the same. I went to her house, before coming here actually. And I said, I'm going to her house because I'm going to spend 40 days. She's very old, 40 days away. It's better I go there and give her a hug. So I planned to be there 3-4 days. That's a lot for me. I travel every weekend. And I stayed 3-4 days with her. On the last day, she said to my mother in the phone, you don't know. What? He's going away. He just stayed for 3-4 days. How much time you want me to stay? We have nothing to do. Actually, she goes to the bingo every day. No, bingo. I just have breakfast with her, Then I just told her, hey, look, I came 4 days because you're very old. I don't know when you are going to die. So I have to become 4 days to tell you that I love you because I don't want you to go without knowing that. Oh my God, then her heart's melted. You just have to know how to say it. But if you try not to be bold, what happens is that you're not a person. You lose that space inside. That's why Chinmayananda says very clearly, be bold. Be boldly yourself. Tell to people what is your truth. Whatever you are feeling, whatever you want to do, Ishvara blesses you with some freedom and with something that is very special, that is love. Because you start loving people. Even if they scores you, because you know that this is the way they have to communicate. They must be in pain. If they are not well, you love them. If they are well, you love even more. So, what can take you out from this place? Actually, nothing. Actually, the Jagat will just instigate for you to find more love, more love, more love each time. So, besides the study of Vedanta, that is actually what will make all this happen in a deeper level, this attitude outwards and now with this class inwards is what will take you in a serious path, Because if you just study, as I've seen a lot of people do, without this really inner objective of connecting, the study just become very dry and does not fructify. So I hope with this we can get some direction. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Harihi Om.